Good morning. So this here is a project I did a while ago. I just haven't had a chance to actually talk over the top of the video. I can't talk in the videos as I'm doing it because I live in a crazy house with animals and kids, or a kid. And yeah, so eventually I'm here and I've been playing with resin a lot. And this here it's a stackable storage system. So I have mixed up let resin, fast cure epoxy resin. And what I'm doing actually here is I'm squirting 99% alcohol, rubbing alcohol into the mould, which helps get rid of bubbles. These stones here, I think the glass, I just got them in Hobbycraft. And I really, really, really want them to be jam-packed. I don't want like a clear layer of resin. I want stones in every single bit. So I jam-pack it full of these stones. And then what we need to do is we need to get it into this mould. And I'm going to push it so far down the sides, like super push. I get it all over my hands. I make a right mess. But the bubbles weren't so bad. I mean, the bubbles turned out to be perfect, actually. I think there was one. But I'm going to jam-pack it down. Obviously, I don't want to misshape the mould. But it needs to be sort of pushed down so there's no gaps, so there's no air bubbles. So basically all you can see is this clear blue glass stones. It might be sea glass, you know. They've got like a pearlescent to them as well. They've definitely been treated and they're absolutely gorgeous. I have since made another 2 of these stack and storage. So you only really need one lid as well for the top because they're all stacked on top of each other. They're really, really nice. The next one that I've done is, I haven't videoed it, or I might have done. I can't remember. I don't know what day of the week it is. I did it with black stones and then I put glow-in-the-dark garden stones in as well. The only thing I can say is if you're getting stones and things from the beach, which I don't actually know if you're allowed to do, or if you're using fish tank stones, which you can use, give them a wash first and let them completely dry. You do not want water anywhere near your resin. So yes, if you do stick around, I have sped it up just a little bit. I know not everybody likes it when I go super speed and make like a 2-minute video. So this one's 15. Again, mute me if I get on your nerves waffling, because I can talk for England. I can talk a glass eye to sleep, to be fair. So I'm really, really pushing it down. I end up getting my hands in there and I'm shoveling it in as much as possible. But I still want it to be smooth on the top. So just like you butter in bread or ice in a cake, just sort of rub it off when you get to the top. There we go. Pushing it down, making sure it's all jam-packed in. Always wear gloves with resin. Also, if you're not in a well-ventilated area, to be honest, you should wear a respirator for any kind of resin. But, no, I don't. You really should, though. Like, it's PPE, isn't it? You need to be careful. But gloves is essential because, well, it's a chemical. I always work with the door open. The dog's running out. It's just insane trying to do anything in this house. But I love it. So I think I'd be very bored if it wasn't busy. So there we go. I've jam-packed it full, squished it all down, and I've evened it off on the top. So it's not going to be all... It's a little bit bumpy, but it's not above the mould. Too much above the mould. I have domed it slightly. I am changing my gloves here because they were literally covered. I would also suggest never ever use the same pair of gloves twice. You can get them cheap enough. Obviously, it's not environmentally friendly, but again, it's protection. It's important. So here I'm hunting for some... Oh, gloves. That's what I was doing. I was looking for my gloves. So again, I just push that to one side. It's fast cure. You can demold in 4 hours, but I always leave it overnight. Basically, just because you don't really want to unmold stuff when it's still a little bit soft. Also, if you've got a heat mat, it speeds up the process a lot. So I actually demolded these. I made them in the morning, then I demolded them just after lunch with the heat mat on. Again, it's not for everybody. You could just put it to one side, out the way of pets and things, and let it cure. I mean, if you already play with resin, then you already know this, and I'm just telling you what you already know. But the lid didn't end up as full as I wanted it to be, but it's actually really quite nice. And when it comes to actually the stack and storage, if I change the lid at the end, then so be it. But I've got a lovely a bee or a butterfly. I've got one of both actually. It's draw knob. I'm going to put that on the top, I think. This is going to be great to keep glitters in. It's going to be great to keep embellishments in. It's going to be great to keep my sticker obsession in. Yeah, so I am topping the lid up with a little bit of clear resin. Now, I didn't want the lid as jam-packed full because I wanted it, I might not have this one on the very top. It might be a pink one on the top when I eventually get it all stacked up. So again, I've mixed up loads and loads of resin, and I have got, I think, we'll see what I've got. It was a while ago since I did it. So again, making sure it's all pushed down. Once your resin is sat, let it degas a little bit. Not so much with these ones. There's going to be little bubbles in anyway. It's impossible not to with the stones in. A lot of resin artists, but I need to add, I am not a resin artist. I just like to play. I like resin, I like paper craft, I like mixed media, I like painting, if it's crafty, I like it. I like painting on fabric. So yeah, I haven't got a debubbler machine, but a lot of resin artists do, and they would pop the cups in once they're mixed, and it would take all the bubbles out, and it definitely, I can see the benefit in it, because sometimes you'll see at the end, in the little bear that I make, I get loads and loads of micro bubbles around its face. Again, it doesn't bother me so much, and I can kind of fix it with UV resin. But if you're a resin artist, I would definitely say you need a debubbler, degasser, pressure pot. There's loads of different ways of looking at it anyway. So here I am I'm opening mica powder here, and I'm going to do the bear. I've got this little shell mould is a succulent plant pot. Obviously you don't have to use it for that, but that's what I got it as, to keep succulents in. I might not do that with it. It's just sat there at the minute. It's just sat there. So this is like it's a metallic ready brown colour, and I'm going to put it in this little bear. Now this little bear is so cute, and it could be like a pocket hug, or you can jazz it up, you can put flowers in its hair, you can put little bows on it, you can put diamantes on. But I put a little bit of resin in, and then I squeeze its ears, because moulds like this are a nightmare for getting bubbles in the little areas. And it doesn't look very nice when you take it out if it's got a big bubble in its ear. A lot of bubbles can be fixed, like I say, with UV resin. It isn't a massive disaster, but just giving it a little squeeze before you fill it all the way up really does help. And by spraying the rubbing alcohol into the mould first, not loads, but it does help. So I'm tidying it up a little bit so I don't have to trim too much off around the bottom. And I keep coming back. I babysit it for a little while. I keep spraying it with a fine mist of the rubbing alcohol. This one is a very thin mould. The sides of this is very, very thin, and I can totally see loads of little succulents and things in it with lots of pretty little stones. But again, I've got a parrot. I can't really have stuff like that around the house because he eats it. I haven't actually got a lot of space to have ornaments and things. So a lot of this I make either gets given away, or I take it to fairs, or I pop it on the website. Also, on that note, if you're still here, do give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and all that jazz. Again, you can mute us if I get on your nerves. I like to talk, but I do loads of stuff. So if you're arty crafty and you like it to be completely raw, it's not. I go live 3 times a week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and it is very much, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. We'll fix it. If I can't fix it, then so be it. It's all very much, I can't even think of the word. It's in the moment. It's not planned. It's not perfect. And that's what crafting is. That's what I like to keep it as. The website is emmashappyplace.co.uk. A lot of paper kits I design and things go on there. Yes, so what I've done here is I've mixed a white mica powder, and then I've used some light blue alcohol ink, and I've just put a couple of drops on the top of this, and I'm hoping it'll marble. It's very, very, very discreet. It's a very light blue. I could have went darker, but you'll see at the end how pretty it is. So again, with mica powder, it kind of helps hide the bubbles as well as glitter and things like that. But if you want a pure clear, I would definitely recommend getting a pressure pot or a debubbler. Maybe I'll save up and get one because I really do like the resin. So I'm pulling out the sides here. I'm giving it a little tap. I have sprayed the alcohol in and I want as many bubbles out as possible. Not one bubble was in this piece when I got it out, and I was so very, very happy. So I keep tapping the sides. What I'm doing is I put a little bit too much alcohol in. So I'm just soaking it up on the cloth. So that's just what you've got to be careful of. It's perfectly fine. But if you add more than, I think it's like 5-6% of something into your resin that isn't resin, it can affect the way it cures. So you've just got to be careful. I mean, it's never happened to me, touch wood. But you've just got to be careful not to put like a full bottle of alcohol ink in with your resin. Unless you're mixing a massive tank of it, and then fair enough, that's your 6%. But it's just to be aware of. If you put far too many stones in and not enough resin, that would just crumble to bits. It's all trial and error. And the more videos and things that you watch from people, the better. So this is the resin I've got left. I am popping it in that cup with the bronze, and I mix it round, but not too much. It's like marbling again. The blue's pretty much gone because I was just putting it on the surface. There was a little bit. And I'm not entirely sure what I do next. We will see when we find a mould. Yeah. You can see all the bubbles popping in that cup. I love to watch it. It's an owl. Now the owl, I didn't quite have enough resin. So what I did was I took some crushed glass and I topped it up. If you add something into resin, it makes it go further. Gutted I used the crushed glass. I could have used anything else, because you can't even see it with it being clear. And the crushed glass is so lovely. It's like crystals. But that's what I had to hand. And I was like, oh, it's starting to go sticky. I need to top it up. So what I do here is I pop a little bit in and I give it a good squidge. I've popped some alcohol in there as well, so I give it a good squidge, get the air bubbles out of its ears and things, and then I top it up. And then I add the clear that's left, and it turns out really, really lovely, to be honest. But, like I say, there wasn't quite enough resin, so I topped it up with the clear crushed glass. And you can't really see it in the end result, so I felt like I wasted. If I'd filled it up with something else that didn't really matter, then... And it was just pure laziness. I could have easily mixed up a little bit more resin. But you can see there how it's not quite at the top. But what I'll do, we'll live, we'll learn. It's all about learning, isn't it? If we knew how to do everything in one go, then life would be boring. I have given it a little swirl there because I had the clear in. I kind of want it to be the same all the way through. Now, what you'll find is in resin as well, that mica powders and alcohol inks and the pigments all react different. So sometimes you can add them, an alcohol ink and then a pigment mica powder, and you will see different effects in your resin. Now recently I've tried to make some book covers that crackled. It started to work, but I think I put too much of the alcohol ink, the dark in. So I am going to go back to it. It doesn't look terrible, but watch your space, you will see it. I'll either show it in a live or I'll do another video and explain it. But here we are, I'm putting all this, it could make us cry as I'm watching it. This glass is so lovely. And it's very expensive in things now, this crushed glass. And basically everything's expensive at the minute, isn't it? It's just is what it is. So I am putting it in. And I top it, I fill it right up and I just go with it. The owl is lovely though. And what you can do as well when you're finished, you can decorate your little characters and things with... You can get oil-based markers. You can use your acrylic markers. If it's an ornament, acrylic markers are fine. But if it's going to be used a lot, I would always give it a coat of varnish or something, or a coat of UV resin. This is the fun bit, the demold. So here we are. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. I love the colours, everything. I love this storage. I've seen some moulds for the round ones. I have got some moulds on the website as well if you would like to have a look. Look at that marble, and very subtle, very gorgeous. Always put your moulds back as soon as you demold it, because you do not want them to go out of shape. And here it is. Eventually you get to not listen to my voice anymore. All done. You can see the micro bubbles on there. But I hope you have a lovely day, and come and join us live. Subscribe, share and all that jazz. And thank you so much. Bye for now.